Design thinking is a step-by-step process to solve problems creatively and innovatively in a human-centered manner. It's a 5-step process. In this training, I will walk you through the 5 steps of design thinking. I will give you the directions. When you follow those step-by-step directions, you will be able to come up with innovative solutions creatively as a team to solve problems that you identify. The world is full of problems, isn't it? There are big problems like population, global warming, pollution, and then there are small problems that nag us on a daily basis at our home, in our school, at our workplace, in our community, and so on. The first thing you need to do is to find a problem that you want to solve. It can be a very generic problem, such as we want to find a solution for global warming. We want to find a solution to make learning more enjoyable in our school. We want to find a solution to improve the employee engagement in our organization. We want to find a solution to solve the traffic problem in our city. Or we want to find a solution to make our city a smart city. It could be any problem, a big problem or a routine problem, small problem that you are facing. Many design thinking workshops start with a theme or a specific area of focus, and that becomes the generic problem. You don't have one? Then this is the time to find a problem. Here is what you would do. Keep your markers and sticky notes ready. Write down the problems for which you want to find a solution. You can write as many problems as you want to solve. Keep this in your mind. One problem on one sticky note. Do you have your sticky notes and markers ready? If not, pause the video now. Go ahead, get your sticky notes and markers and write down the problems. Your time starts now. Okay, have you noted down all the problems you are interested in? Now, rush to your theme wall and stick your problems on it. Today during this workshop, due to the time constraints, you will be focusing on only one problem from your theme wall. If you are solving one, let it be the one your team considers the most important. Now, here is how you will select your most important problem. Teams, please go to your theme wall. Each team member will vote the 3 problems that they think are the most important. Now, you are not focusing on the entries made by you yourself. Think like a team. You're going to work as a team. You're going to innovate as a team. So from all the entries that you have got on your theme wall, find the 3 entries that you think are the most important to solve for your team. You can pause the video now. Go ahead and mark your choice. Your time starts now. Have you marked your votes? Now is the time to select the one generic problem that you are going to attempt as a team. The problem with the highest number of votes is the generic problem or the theme that you are going to attempt as a team, innovate as a team during this workshop. Are you ready? Have you found a winning problem? So far, what you have done is to find a theme to focus your innovation on. As you have seen earlier, if you had already started with a theme, you didn't have to go through these steps. Now, we are going to jump right into the 5 steps of design thinking. Ready? The first step is to empathize. This is where you will try to understand the problems faced by people in the current situation for the theme that you selected. Both functional and emotional challenges faced by people. So here is the first thing I would like you to do in this step. Think about all the spaces that are part of that theme. For example, if your theme is to reimagine a school, some of the spaces associated with a school are classroom, auditorium, labs, computer rooms, corridors, various sports fields, activity rooms, locker rooms, teachers' offices, admin offices, bathrooms, cafeteria, library, and so on. Now, it's time for you to write down all spaces that come into your mind associated with the theme that you selected. Keep this in mind. One space for one sticky note. Now, since you have got the spaces written down, go to your empathy wall and stick it under spaces. Now, let's go to the second thing in this step. That is, come up with a list of all kinds of people who would be using those spaces. For example, in the case of a school, the spaces are used by students, by teachers, by cafeteria workers, by office workers, the cleaning workers, parents, visitors, and so on. Who are the people using the spaces that you identified? You know what to do now. Go to your empathy wall and stick your entries under people. Since you have already thought about the spaces and people involved, now it's time for you to think about the problems faced by these people. As you have identified various different types of people, naturally you will come across many different problems of various difficulties. Write down as many problems as you can think of. Give importance to quantity. Do not worry about whether this is a simple or a complex problem. And do not worry about whether you will be able to solve it or not. Ready? Now stick your empathy map on your empathy wall. Okay, so far you have identified a generic problem and then looked at it from various perspectives and found out different problems faced by various different people from an emotional point of view as well as a functional point of view. With that, you have already completed step 1 of design thinking. Now it's time to move on to the next step, that is define. As a team, you have identified several different problems. Well done. Now let's focus on solving one problem at a time. So it's time to vote the one problem your team wants to solve. Each team member votes the 3 problems that they consider important to solve. Go to your wall and vote your choices now. Have you made your choice? Now it's time to find the problem with the highest number of votes. Congratulations, you have found your big problem. Next, you need to write a problem statement for the big problem that you selected. Do you have a problem statement? Congratulations, you have successfully completed the second step of design thinking. Now it's time to move on to the next step, that is ideate. In this step, you will come up with as many ideas as you can to solve the problem that you selected. Now is the time to write down all ideas that you have in your mind. Each team member can write as many ideas as they can. Remember this, one idea on one sticky note. Go ahead and write those ideas down. Do you have all your ideas written down? Please go to your idea wall and stick all your ideas on that wall. Now that you have got all those ideas on your idea wall, I think you know what the next step is, don't you? That is to find the big idea that you will focus on to solve the problem that you identified. Do you have your big idea now? How would you ensure that this idea will fit the problem that you identified? So this is the point we are going to do some drawing. Your first drawing is going to be of that of the product or the idea that you came up with. Do not worry about how beautiful or how neat your drawing is. Not all of you need to draw. Within your team, identify the people who will do the drawing. Do you have the design sketch ready? Now, how is your design going to solve the problem? Here is what you will do. Identify the key stages at which your user will be using your product or idea. You can identify about 4 to 6 stages. How easy it will be for the user to use that product at that stage. How effectively your product will solve the problems faced by your user at that stage. What will your user feel when they use your product at that stage? Discuss this within your team and come up with a customer journey map. The customer journey map shows the stages your user will go through when using your product. You can make use of words, sketches, and pictures to convey your ideas well. Are you ready to do it? Look at how far you have come. You selected a theme. You came up with problems that are associated with that theme. You came up with some brilliant ideas to solve the problems. You selected the big idea. You came up with the physical sketch of that idea. After that, you came up with a customer journey map. Don't you think you are creative? Don't you think you are innovative? Give yourself a big round of applause for that. With that, you have completed the 3 steps of design thinking. That is empathize, define, and ideate. Are you ready to move on to the next step? That is prototyping. Prototyping is making. It's a very exciting step where you are going to physically make a prototype or a model of the design that you came up with. Take a look around you. You have got a supply of materials for making your prototype. Make use of that to create your prototype as close to your design as possible. Have fun! How was making? Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time with your team? Did you learn anything new about your teammates? Did it give you any new insights about your problem or your solution? Did you make any changes in your design based on that insight? If you did, that's good. And that is the beauty of design thinking. At every stage, you will get new ideas or new insights that can improve your design or your solution. Do you agree? We are moving on to the 5th and final step of design thinking now. That is testing. In a real design thinking project environment, you will be sharing your work with your users in every stage and incorporate their feedback in the design. If you have real users with you, please share your prototype with them and get their feedback. If not, have a brainstorm in your team about how well your product will solve your big problem. Congratulations! You have done all the 5 steps of design thinking, and it's not just that. you have come up with an innovation that can solve a real problem. Isn't that wonderful? So are we done? Not yet. How can it be done if you don't present your ideas and your prototype to others? So now it's the time for presentations. Take a few moments to prepare your presentation. Now, as a team, you present your product to the entire group. If you could come up with such a brilliant idea, you can also make this idea into a reality. And you can help so many people by providing a solution to the nagging problem that they are facing currently. It was wonderful sharing this design thinking program with you. I'm sure you will be able to take this lesson forward and apply it in various different scenarios you will come across in your academic life, professional life, or in personal life. I wish you all the best for that. For more such programs and enquiries, please visit our website at www.asmanyminds.com. See you there.